Can you collect Social Security and still work? Most people think the answer is no, or they've heard that if you try, the government will take your benefits back. That's not true. But there is a catch. Maria is 64. She's a nurse. Last month, someone at work told her, if you claim Social Security at 62 and keep working, you'll lose everything. She's been stressed for weeks. She needs the money now, but she's not ready to stop working completely. If you're thinking about claiming Social Security while you're still working, or you might need to go back to work after you claim, the next 8 minutes will show you exactly how the earnings limit works and how to avoid losing money. Because yes, you can work and collect, but if you earn more than $22,320 this year and you're under full retirement age, Social Security will withhold part of your benefits. And most people don't find out until it's too late. Let me show you exactly how this works. Yes, you can collect Social Security and work at the same time. There's no law that says you have to stop working to claim benefits. But here's the catch. If you claim Social Security before your full retirement age and you're still earning money from work, there's an earnings limit. If you earn more than that limit, Social Security will withhold some or all of your benefits. For 2026, if you're under your full retirement age for the entire year, the earnings limit is $22,320. If you earn more than that from wages or self-employment, Social Security will withhold $1 in benefits for every $2 you earn above the limit. Let me show you what that looks like with real numbers. You're 63 years old. You claim Social Security and your benefit is $2,500 per month. That's $18,000 per year. You're also working part-time, earning $32,320 per year. That's $10,000 over the earnings limit. Social Security withholds $1 for every $2 over the limit. So they withhold $5,000 of your benefits for the year. Instead of getting $18,000 in Social Security, you get $13,000. They kept $5,000 back. Now here's what confuses people. You didn't permanently lose that money. Social Security gives you credit for it later. When you reach your full retirement age, they recalculate your benefit to account for the months they withheld payments. Your monthly benefit increases slightly to make up for those withheld months. But you don't get that $5,000 back as a lump sum. It's spread out over the rest of your life as a small increase in your monthly benefit. So technically, you get the money back eventually, but not right away, and not all at once. Now, in the year you reach full retirement age, the rules get better. The earnings limit jumps to about $59,520 for 2026. And the withholding rate improves. They only withhold $1 for every $3 you earn above that limit, not $1 for every $2. And once you actually reach your full retirement age, the month you turn 67 for most people, there's no earnings limit at all. You can earn $100,000, $500,000, whatever you want. Social Security won't touch your benefits. This is the part people get wrong. They hear earnings limit, and they assume they can't work at all if they claim Social Security early. That's not true. You can absolutely work. You just need to understand how much will be withheld based on what you earn. Let me tell you about Tom's mistake. Tom retired at 62. He claimed Social Security and started getting $1,700 per month. A few months later, a friend offered him a consulting job, $60,000 per year. Tom said no. He thought if he earned that much, he'd lose all his Social Security benefits. But that's not how it works. Let me show you what would have actually happened. Tom's Social Security, $1,700 per month equals $2,400 per year. Consulting job would pay $60,000 per year. Earnings limit, $20,320. Amount over the limit, $60,000 minus $22,320 equals $37,680. Withholding, $30,680 divided by 2 equals $18,840. So Social Security would withhold $18,840 of his $2,400 benefit. He'd still get $1,560 in Social Security for the year. It's not much, but it's not zero. And more importantly, he'd have $60,000 from the consulting job. His total income would be $61,860 instead of just $20,400 from Social Security alone. Even after Social Security withheld most of his benefits, he'd be $41,160 better off by taking the job. But Tom didn't understand that. He turned it down. He lived on $20,400 for the year when he could have had $61,560. That's a $41,160 mistake because he didn't understand the rules. Now here's something really important. The earnings limit only applies to money you earn from working. It doesn't apply to other types of income. If you have a pension, that doesn't count toward the limit. If you have rental income from investment properties, that doesn't count. Investment income, interest, dividends, capital gains from selling stocks, none of that counts toward the earnings limit. Only wages from a job or net earnings from self-employment count. So if you're 63, you're collecting Social Security, and you have $50,000 in investment income, Social Security doesn't care. You get your full benefit, but if you have $50,000 in wages from a job, you're over the limit, and they'll withhold benefits. Another thing people misunderstand. They think the earnings limit is monthly. It's not. It's annual. Let's say you claim Social Security in January. You work full-time for 6 months and earn $40,000. Then you quit in July and earn nothing for the rest of the year. Social Security looks at your total earnings for the entire year, $40,000 total. That's $17,680 over the limit. They withhold $8,840. It doesn't matter that you only worked half the year. The limit is based on your total annual earnings, not monthly. But there is a special rule for your first year of claiming Social Security. If you claim mid-year, there's a monthly earnings test for the rest of that year. For 2026, the monthly limit is about $1,860. If you earn less than that in any month after you start collecting Social Security, you get your full benefit for that month, even if your annual earnings are way over the limit. This is really helpful if you're planning to retire mid-year. Here's a real example. Susan is 62. She plans to retire in June. From January to June, she'll earn $45,000. After June, she'll earn nothing. The annual earnings limit is $22,320. She's way over. If Social Security applied the annual test, they'd withhold most of her benefits for the entire year. But in her first year of claiming, the monthly test applies. Starting in July, she earns $0 per month. That's under the $1,860 monthly limit. So from July to December, she gets her full Social Security benefit every month, even though her annual earnings were $45,000. This is why timing matters. If you're planning to retire mid-year, you want to claim Social Security right before you stop working, not at the beginning of the year. Now here's the question everyone asks. Should I claim Social Security while I'm working, or should I wait? It depends on your situation. If you need the money now and you can only work part-time earning under the limit, claiming early makes sense. You get Social Security plus your part-time income. Even with some withholding, you come out ahead. But if you're still working full-time, earning $60,000, $80,000 or more per year, it usually doesn't make sense to claim early. Social Security will withhold most or all of your benefit anyway. You're better off waiting until you actually retire or until you reach full retirement age. And remember this, if you claim early while working, you're locking in a permanently reduced benefit. Even after Social Security gives you credit for the months they withheld, your benefit is still lower than it would have been if you'd waited. So here's exactly what you need to do before you make this decision. First, figure out your full retirement age. For most people turning 62 now, it's 67. That's when the earnings limit goes away completely. Second, estimate how much you'll earn from working this year. Be honest. Look at your actual paycheck or expected income. Third, subtract the earnings limit from your expected income. For 2026, that's $22,320 if you're under full retirement age all year. Fourth, divide the amount over the limit by 2. That's how much Social Security will withhold from your benefits. Fifth, add up your total income, your wages minus the withheld benefits. See if claiming Social Security actually helps your situation or if you're better off waiting. And sixth, think long-term. If you're claiming at 62 and you're going to keep working full-time until 67, Social Security will be withholding your benefits for 5 years. Is it worth locking in a permanently lower benefit? Or should you just wait until you're actually ready to cut back on work? Here's the truth. Most people who claim Social Security while still working full-time wish they'd waited, not because they lost money permanently, but because they didn't really need the Social Security yet, and now they've locked in a lower benefit for the rest of their lives. Maria, the nurse from the beginning, finally figured this out. She talked to someone at the Social Security office who explained the rules clearly. She decided to wait. She kept working full-time until 64. Then she claimed Social Security and cut back to part-time work, staying under the earnings limit. By waiting 2 years, her benefit was higher. And she only worked part-time for a couple more years before stopping completely. She's 69 now. She's fully retired. And she's getting $400 more per month than she would have if she'd claimed at 62. That's $4,800 per year. For the rest of her life. She told me, "I'm so glad I didn't panic and claim early. Those 2 extra years of waiting were absolutely worth it." This is educational information only. Everyone's situation is different. Consider consulting with a Social Security advisor or financial planner for your specific circumstances. If this helped you understand how Social Security and working interact, let me know in the comments. And if you have a specific situation you're trying to figure out, I'll do my best to point you in the right direction. You can work and collect Social Security, but whether it makes financial sense depends on how much you're earning and how long you plan to keep working. Make sure you understand the rules before you claim.